Hello and good afternoon, everyone. It's Twyla Jenkins here, founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement and retreat. I am literally running into my seat to start today's show. Haven't had a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of prep because I have been at the Black Women's Expo. And so was super excited to be able to be a part of the Black Women's Expo. See, I even need to move my computer around to be a part of the Black Women's Expo. Hey, Dorothy Roberts, thanks for joining today. I was there with Walgreens. Actually, Walgreens has a wonderful program for high school students. It's called Expressions Challenge, and high school students who are artistic can win $2,000. So I was at the Black Women's Expo here in Chicago. Congratulations to you, Mary Green, for another successful event. I'll be back there tomorrow. So if you ladies don't have anything to do, you're in Chicago, come on out to McCormick Place, support small businesses, support corporations who support our businesses in our community to the Black Women's Expo at McCormick Place. So it's been a little while since we've been able to be out. This year, some of us have been vaccinated, others not so much. Hopefully, you will make the decision to do so, because if you help yourself be healthy, then you help me be healthy and you help our community be healthy. And we know that is what the I Am That Woman movement and retreat is all about, keeping you healthy. Today, with that being said, I'm always about learning, sharing something new, something different. Hey, Shy. Thanks for joining. And today, I'm super excited that I would guess that not many of you know about EFT, what that means, if you've ever heard of it, if you've ever tried it, if you've ever practiced it. So Sheree Franklin, who was my guest 2 weeks ago, talked about meditation and the power of meditation, is going to be talking to us today about EFT tapping, and how this practice, this wellness holistic practice, can help you to reduce stress, anxiety. We're going through so much. We're overwhelmed. I literally stopped and posted today. My first post was, is it just me? Or are you either really good at social media or you're not? Sometimes I'm really good at social media and sometimes I'm not. And over these past couple of weeks, you know what? I'll have to admit it. I've been a little overwhelmed. Life has just been a bit hectic. So from July 25th, when I had my hit and run, had to go out of town right after that, came back, had another event, 2 events in one day, worked from 4 a.m. to midnight. Sunday, I woke up and I could barely walk. It had all caught up with me. So this week, I found myself in my doctor's office doing some self-care. And you know what? Sometimes we need a minute. And in that minute, sometimes you need to learn something new. Today's and this week's meditation was all about change. Hey, Valerie Roberts, Minister Roberts, change. And as Sheree and I shared a couple of weeks ago, all of us are going through so much change, right? Change in the weather, change in the atmosphere, change in our employment status, change in our household, change in how we work, change in how our minds even operate. We've been on Zoom meetings all day, every day. So we're going through a lot of change. I have experienced a lot of change since my accident, since traveling, since being back, and all of this pressure. I'm so excited today that I'm going to learn something new about EFT tapping to help me with all of this change, all of the overwhelming emotions, feelings, difficulties, things that we go through to help us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest. You guys know her. She's a wonderful author. She's a wonderful mentor. She's a wonderful intuition coach. None other than Sheree Franklin. Hey, Sheree.
Twyla, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you mentioned all the symptoms of what you've been going through, because everyone's feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Overwhelm presents a lot of different ways. It presents a lack of focus. We lose our car keys, we lose our wallets, we lose our purses, we lose our cell phones. And sometimes it's hard even to read material. You find yourself reading things over and over again because your mind can't process it. And you also mentioned all the Zoom meetings. We're actually suffering from Zoom fatigue.
Oh,
You're in those meetings all the time, and you get to a point where the screen looks blurry. You can't hear really what people are really saying. And a large part of it is we've been seduced by technology.
mm-hmm.
Don't go anywhere without our cell phone or our device. And what happens is we stop learning how to really soothe ourselves when we're going through stuff because we don't even notice it.
Yeah.
We don't even notice we're overwhelmed until things get so out of control that we're finally at a point like when your car accident happened, when you had to slow down, you had to deal with what's happening.
Yeah.
But many of us have all kind of things going on inside. And the reason I wanted to teach EFT, which is known as the emotional freedom technique, is it's a simple technique to learn, but it has big effects on releasing stress in the body. And think about EFT tapping along the same meridians that acupuncture is based on. And acupuncture is like 5,000 years old. And so what it does is our center in the brain where we register fear or upset is the amygdala. It actually gets us out of that fight or flight syndrome that we fall into when things get terrible. So let's begin by me showing you how to tap. So Paula, do you mind putting up the tapping points?
I sure will. I'm going to share my screen with everyone. And Sheree, I just actually put in the chat as well EFT. What EFT means is emotional freedom technique. Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, there you go.
Okay. So I'm going to show you the tapping points. Okay. Why don't you pull it up just a little bit because we're going to go bring down a little bit because we start actually at the lower screen. This is what's called the karate chop point. It's the fleshy part on the left hand, and you literally are just tapping like 1, 2, 3. Okay?
So right.
Then you go right here, right eyebrow. Well, actually now people are tapping both eyebrows. Then you do the side of the eye,
Mm-hmm.
underneath the eye,
Do the same thing.
underneath the nose, underneath the mouth, collarbone, underneath the arm. We can do one arm at a time. And then you go to top of the head. Right eyebrows, side of the eye, underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the mouth, collarbone, underneath the arm, underneath the eye. So let's do an actual tapping about overwhelm. Okay? Let's talk with the karate chop. And you're going to stay on this point until I direct you. We're going to go to the eyebrow. Even though I'm feeling overwhelmed and fatigued, and sometimes downright worried about how things are going to turn out in my life, I give myself permission to relax, for my body to be peaceful, for me to reflect on positive energy, and know that even though all the answers may not be revealed to me at this time, everything is going to work. Right eyebrow. I am learning to relax and align myself this time to be peaceful, to release things just like you would bring out a dishwasher. Now let the stress go out of my body, side of the eye. Sometimes this presents as me just feeling at ease, that my back no longer has the knot in it that it has many times when I find myself feeling overly tired. Underneath the eye, I am learning to be peaceful. Underneath the nose, I'm learning to be peaceful. Chin area, I'm learning to be peaceful. Collarbone, peace for me presents as I can breathe a little deeper. Underneath the arm, and my body aches and pains disappear. Top of the head. And sometimes I find myself suddenly starting to laugh and remember how it feels to be joyful. Eyebrow. But what do I do when things get out of control again? And I find myself being worn out from all the Zoom meetings, kids screaming, bills needing to be paid, working on a kitchen desk, and having to serve meals in the same place. Side eye. I give myself permission to take a few minutes and to tap and to get unwound. Underneath eye. These few minutes of tapping are helping to send positive energy and thoughts to my mind, my heart, and even my spirit underneath the nose. And when this happens, I suddenly feel recharged, refueled, and redirected in my life. Chin area. But I've got to remember to do this in order to get out of the overwhelm that we've all been experiencing. Collarbone. None of us ever thought we would go through a pandemic. And here we are in our second year, and we're still going through change. Underneath the arm. And we don't know exactly when we're going to be out of it. That's why it's important, top of the head, that we have coping skills like EFT, the emotional freedom technique, to help us through it. Eyebrow. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to go out to get in a special program. All you have to do is tap. Side of the eye. I'm embracing peace. Underneath the eye. I'm embracing peace. Underneath the nose. I am embracing peace. Chin area. I trust myself and my intuition to help guide me on the best decisions to make in my life. Collarbone. I trust myself and my intuition to help guide me. Underneath the arm. I surround myself with a circle of positive people. Top of the head. I am relaxed. I am peaceful. Eyebrow. I am relaxed. I am peaceful. Side of the eye. I am embracing peace. Underneath the eye. I am embracing peace. Whenever I find myself afraid, I allow myself to take a few minutes to tap and notice that things get easier. Chin area. Tapping is so easy, but all I have to do is spend a few minutes tapping, and suddenly my stress level becomes reduced. I am embracing peace. Collarbone. Underneath the arm. I'm embracing peace. Top of the head. I am embracing peace. Allow yourself to gently stop tapping. You take a deep breath in and let it out. How did that feel?
That felt really, really good. It
Isn't
felt really good. I can, and as you know, I have been doing acupuncture for several years now and can't always get in, can't always go. And what this reminds me of is when I can't, this is a wonderful technique to do when I can't get into acupuncture, because when I come out of acupuncture, I feel such a sense of relief and such a sense of like almost floating. And that's kind of how I feel now. I know acupuncture helps our blood flow because of the points that the needles hit in the body. And I really feel like my blood was able to flow. I'm much calmer. My back feels better. So, what a great technique, Sheree.
well, it's and Twyler, I do meditations on Saturday mornings at 9. Tomorrow, our meditation is all going to be about using EFT. We're going to do EFT for actually grieving or dealing with loss in your life. And it could be loss of a job, it could be loss of a relationship, or loss of a loved one, or loss of even the life you thought you were going to live. But we'll be doing it for the whole meditation. We'll be doing EFT. And I find that when you set up a meditation with EFT, the little bit of effect that you found today, and I liked how you said my back felt different, I could breathe deeper. Think about it if you take this EFT and do it for a good 30 minutes. And you'll find that you'll come away feeling like your steps are a little lighter. It's easier for you to feel more relaxed, more peaceful, because everybody's got something that they're overwhelmed. Everybody has something that has gotten to them in the midst of this whole pandemic and job loss and working from home. Everybody has something.
So Sheree, the way that you went through it, and I'm looking at the diagram here. So there is a flow. So there's a certain way that you start, and I know we started with our right above our eyebrow, right?
We started actually with the karate chop.
Karate chop. Okay.
And then when you first do it, okay, the first point, once you get through, then you're going to do the eyebrow. Then you're going to do the side of the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the mouth. And see, the collarbone is lined up directly with on the left side with the heart. And what makes that point so important is, let's say you can't do all the points, but you are upset about something. You need to address it quickly. Do the collarbone. It immediately sends the electromagnetic energy to the heart. And remember, the heart's the first organ formed in the body. It's formed even before the brain is. So you have a feeling capacity before you have a thinking ability. So you calm that heart down. And also, let's say you're doing something and you don't want everybody to know. You can't just go under their top real easily or underneath the jacket. Tap and calm themselves down. So we got to have new tricks for how to deal with overwhelm, because everybody's experiencing it and it's fatiguing. When you get overwhelmed, you're just exhausted.
That's kind of how I felt this week too. And then after the collarbone, under the arm.
Under the arm.
Right.
I do under both arms.
Okay.
And then we go back to the top.
And then go back to the top of the head. Awesome.
Okay.
Now, the other thing I noticed is that you kind of took us through a meditation, right? So if I don't know what to say, I could do this. If I go on YouTube and play a meditation, or if I'm on Shine or Calm, I can do this while I'm listening to a meditation. So this adds to helping to bring down all of that stress and anxiety while listening to a meditation. Is that right?
Exactly. Well, I try when I set up my meditations, and I do a variety of topics. Like last 2 weeks ago when I was on originally, we did change as a meditation. This week we're doing grieving. And so every meditation that I do covers specific points. Like I said, one of the things I do a little bit of education. So at the beginning, I always try and share some knowledge, like the effects of grieving. Grieving actually even affects our body's immune system, inflammation, migraine headaches, sleeping. And so I explained to you how the effect of grieving is having on the wellness of your body. And that's what we got to think about now. How can we stay well? Because if you have good health, you have everything. And this is one of those ways. I just read where a woman had been on a glaucoma warning, and she did EFT and got her pressure points to come down, her pressure to come down in her eyes by doing it. And she didn't have to have glaucoma surgery. Now, I'm not saying if you're in danger of glaucoma not to do it and to trust EFT, but I'm telling you, there are natural ways to heal the body that we can utilize if we're aware of it. And this is one of those things that we don't really talk about in our community. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because there are ways to hold and heal the body. A regular meditation practice. Research indicates it takes only 5 to 7 minutes of a meditation practice. And you may say, okay, you do EFT, you're just tapping, peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. And so we can find ways to work a meditation practice in without us thinking we have to spend 30 minutes or an hour to do it. Who doesn't have 5 to 7 minutes to work?
Exactly. That's such a good point. Whether it's in the beginning of the day or oftentimes in that moment of being overwhelmed, right?
Yes.
So we have this Zoom fatigue, we have meeting fatigue, we have, all of the pressure of things going on at home fatigue. So a wonderful way, this is a wonderful way to almost instantaneously, because what I find is that we don't know what to do in that moment, and so it builds, and then it's just like, so then that's when the tension and the frustration. And so what can we do in that moment? And I think this or the karate chop or something, as you said, in that moment, it can take 5 minutes. So why not calm down 5 minutes or do a technique that will bring you down 5 minutes versus having a 30-minute argument over something that was more emotional than anything.
Or being put on more medication. That's the other end of the spectrum. Let's say your blood pressure has gone through the roof anyway in terms of some of the stress levels you've been facing. Why not practice a technique that can help to lower the stress level in the body? Because all too often what happens is doctors rely on giving us more medication. They don't tell us about natural ways for us to heal and hold ourselves. And this is one you don't have to have a special app to do. You don't have to turn on your laptop. All you have to do is tap and allow yourself a few minutes to just focus on whatever it is that you want to create. Let's say right now, I want to create complete happiness and wellness in my body. I create complete wellness in my body. I'm focused on my health. Staying in good health all the time is so important to
Hmm.
me.
So just positive affirmations. It's not something that you have to say or line up to a book or line up to a certain meditation. It's really just kind of reciting what it is that you want to manifest in your mind or in your body. So whether you're trying to avoid an argument with a family member, or just, you can literally just start tapping and say, I refuse to get upset. I am in a state of peace right now. I am in a state of mind of just divine energy. And so, whatever it is that's positive, you can do that along with the tapping, and you will feel all of your emotional senses come into alignment.
Every time we allow ourselves for our anger to get out of control, and I had to learn about that myself when I was younger. There were a lot of times I allowed my anger to get out of control, and it would take me a long time to recover because I couldn't just switch out of it immediately. And so, what I learned to do is to be aware of the warning signs. For me, one of the warning signs, my neck would hurt. That was my warning sign. I knew I was getting angry. Oh, my neck's bothering me. And so now I can see when that's coming up, and I immediately just work on fine tuning myself and staying peaceful. Because peace is really a conscious choice.
Mm.
We always have a choice, even as to adjust ourselves to a bad situation. But you have the freedom to choose. And you think about it, free will is really the gift that all of us have been given. And so we can consciously choose to make better choices to help our wellness and health in our bodies.
Actually just put that up, that peace is really a conscious choice. I'm not sure that we always think of it like that, but we do have a choice to either escalate or de-escalate in that moment. We don't have to, keep reacting, especially to someone else's energy. I think, Sheree, are you finding now that we have to be more mindful, not only of our own minds, but how we react to other people who don't know how to control themselves?
Oh, very big point, because we look at what's going on in our community now, and a lot of these disruptions that are occurring are people who are just out of control with their anger. And I'm not saying times aren't tough. I know they're tough. I know there are a lot of people who are going through changes that are very, very difficult now. But at the same time, if we wipe ourselves off the planet, who's going to be there? If we just go off on everybody and do violent things or curse each other out in public, we haven't helped matters any. We haven't helped matters at all. And so you staying on the peace channel even affects people in your household, in your community, your neighbors. Sometime when I'm in the grocery store, I work on my peace and tranquility, because there are things that will happen sometimes that just, you see people get in arguments,
Yeah.
and it's dangerous. You
Yes.
don't want to go out in the street and argue with anybody. You don't want to do it. So
Yeah.
your best bet is to be present within your presence. That means know what's going on inside of you.
Mhm.
Don't let your emotions get out of control. We always have our choice, and peace is a conscious choice. You have to determine. That's why at one point we did a repetition where we were saying, "I'm embracing peace. I'm embracing peace. I'm embracing peace." I didn't do that by accident. I do it because it's like an affirming statement. I am embracing peace.
Mhm. That is good. Jules said, she said, "Good afternoon. I started tapping in April, and it's a great coping technique." Jewel is a really good family friend, my former sister in law, but always my sister in love. And she recently just lost her best friend to COVID, and who was also a family friend of ours, Melissa, and may she rest in peace. Jewel, I hope this has helped you. And Sheree, share a little bit about what you're doing tomorrow. I'm going to stop sharing because I want to bring that up, and the importance of why you're doing the meditation on grief tomorrow.
Well, again, it's that overwhelm. Everybody has gone through some type of loss during this period. And I found that what happens is we build up the pressure from all these losses that we're facing. And so I decided I would take an EFT meditation and just focus on how to release grief, how to move from grief to joy, how to move from grief to love. And so by the time you get at the height of the meditation, like maybe we're really talking about how intense the meditation is, and then next thing you know, then we're really going into how do I shift an emotion.
So this is, I know you guys can't see this too good, but this is the meditation that you're doing tomorrow about grieving. Jewel, I'm going to send this to you. I don't know if it will fit in your schedule, but I'll also post this on our social media for others to know, because EFT can help us in this time of loss and grief. I had a funeral yesterday, and actually, it was the first time I think since the pandemic, because I usually do church virtually. So the funeral was at a church, and it was the first time that I had been back in church, which was good. It felt good. But it was a tragic loss. It was one of my colleagues, her husband was killed in a motorcycle accident. So while there were a lot of stories and we laughed about the stories, and it was a joyous occasion, it was, and I'm not one to deal with grief real well. I'll be the first one to admit that. And I couldn't stay for the whole thing. I realized that my anxiety was starting to go up. I had already had a tough week. So by the time the end, I felt my breathing. I felt just, and I said, I've paid my respects. I've come. I feel this starting to, affect me, and I had to go. And so, to your point, Sheree, about what you're doing tomorrow for meditation, and I'm definitely going to try to be there. I have a speaking engagement at 10 o'clock, but I think it will definitely help me with everything that I've been dealing with as well.
Well, please join us, because, like I said, it allows you to do a complete meditation with EFT and really give you some of the long-term effect. Like I get people to check in right at the beginning and see how they're really feeling. And once they do, I say, okay, now where are you from 1 to 10 in terms of your anxiety level? And then at the end, I ask you to come back and express how your anxiety level is after it's over. Most of the time, people have decreased so much that they're at zero. They're at zero.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a small thing that we can all do to help release that feeling of overwhelm. We don't want to get to the point where we're reaching the boiling point, or we end up in the ER with a heart attack or some other health problem. And we don't have to go through it.
Yeah.
So we got to fix it.
Yeah, I really do believe. I mean, I know that my car accident, had something to do with, the tension in my back and my neck and shoulder area. But I also know that I had to travel like immediately after that happened, right? And it was a 13-hour day of travel. It was a day where we were having storms. It was a day where a lot of the weather was going on. And I got home late, had to jump right into another event. That Mondays when my colleague's husband had passed away. So we had to jump in on her projects to make sure that, the ball wasn't dropped on clients. So it was like all of this again, coming at me kind of at the same time. So I think that tension was that I kept trying to get a acupuncture appointment. Had I thought about or even called you to do some EFT, I think that would have helped me.
I would have done EFT with you. In
Yeah.
fact, I normally, when people attend the meditations, some of those people come see me for private sessions, and we do EFT. I create then an original script that has to do with the pressures that they're facing in their particular life. So I customize it for what they're going through.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. And one of the things that I learned, I can't remember exactly who I was interviewing, but it was such a good point that grief isn't always just about a loss of a loved one or a friend. Grief can be from a loss of so many different things. And so we can be suffering the loss of our job or income, or, we can grieve about the changes that are going on, grieving about this country, grieving about the pandemic. So loss and grieving isn't necessarily connected to a loved one. You can find yourself just grieving because of what's going on in the world and in the atmosphere. And I think that's something else that we have to be very cognitive of, what we're letting in and also what we're putting out.
Exactly. We really have to work on how are we managing our emotions, because your emotions are your emotional guidance system. And so what we take into our body has an effect on the wellness in our body. So we have to be sure that we want to clean things up. And EFT is one of the simplest techniques that can easily help you shift out of anything you're going through. It's good for chronic pain. It's good for migraines. It's good. And I like to use it to do what I call tapping into the universe. I literally go in and ask for all the infinite blessings and possibilities and gifts to flow into my life while I'm tapping. And it is such a wonderful feeling to do that. But you can get into the cosmic playground real easy. But
that's such a good point, because even this week in meditation, I believe I started it last week. And so our affirmations always speaks to our inner self.
Right.
And so what I'm telling my inner self, and I say all the time, and lately during meditation, we've been doing some work to do a deeper dive into that inner self and what that means, and connecting to the inner spirit and connecting to even the God within, because oftentimes we're so surface. And so I just believe that, going really deep in that inner self and doing tapping and going in, you're going to find out some things that will give you peace.
Yes, it does. I find that I have challenges with sleep. And Twyla, if I start tapping like a good hour before I go to bed, and it's just maybe I tap for a few minutes, I sleep better. I sleep better. And I'm tapping on relaxing into sleep, letting go everything and being sleepy, and being able to sleep all night long. And, those aren't complex things that you have to think of, but you could take it for anything. It could be, relaxing that you are more joyful.
Yeah.
You're attracting positive people into your life.
Yeah.
It really is about, the amount of time we put into ourselves. Life really is a do-it-yourself project. We have to work on ourselves all the time. We don't
all the time.
All the time.
Every day. It does not stop. It is a journey where we have to. And what I love about life, and what I love about the I Am That Woman movement and retreat, since God has blessed me with this, Sheree, is how much I have learned. And when I learn, I want to share. I think from day one of when you met me, it's just a part of my nature. I'll never forget when you came over to my house and I had 3 or 4 other girlfriends around the dining room table, and you took us through our first meditation, because I was like, I can't be the only one. That's how I always feel. I can't be the only one that knows how to do this. I can't be the only one who wants to live their best life. And so I love information like this. We all need technique. Shai just said the same thing. Much needed information to help us all deal with the overwhelming changes going on in the world today. We cannot expect to do things like we used to and or not and deal with everything that's going. We're in a change world. It's changed forever. There's no such thing as going back to normal. I've heard the new normal. I've heard, all of these terminologies about what we're going to go back to. We're never going to go back, Sheree. We're not going to go back to any place that we were before March of 2020. And so we really do have to learn how, I think anyway, differently to deal with all of the change, deal with the cosmic universe, deal with the atmosphere. The word tells us is that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but it's really the atmosphere. It's the dark spirits of people. It's the minds and I still can't understand why this mask mandate is so political. I just can't. But it just is. I'm like, what is the big thing with the mask? Like, science says it helps us be healthier. Like, it's just crazy to me, but we can't get wrapped up in it because it will drive us crazy. And so we really do have to learn techniques like EFT, like meditation, like prayer, anything that will help your mind and body to stay in alignment to just divine wisdom.
Agreed. I think that, first of all, you have to look at what's happening now. Now, from what I've heard now, the experts are saying that the virus is expected to peak again by mid-September. Right now in Chicago, our numbers are at 6 points, which 6%, which isn't still at the all-time high when we were 20 and 23%, but still the numbers are steadily picking up. So that's why it's important how you handle stress. Yeah. It's like when I did the research on effects of grieving, one of the things that is, the immune system, inflammation, chronic pain. So you staying healthy during this period is critical. And implementing a little practice like EFT, we saw how quickly we tapped. It didn't even take that long.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go out and buy anything. It's very, very simple to do. There are plenty of videos on YouTube of EFT, the emotional freedom technique.
Yeah. Plenty of videos. Sheree, thank you so much. Are there any questions? I get into me sometimes. I'm sorry. This is something new that I've heard about and knew about, but really hadn't practiced it and hadn't thought about it. And so this week I kept almost beating myself up that I was trying to make an acupuncture appointment and meetings just kept coming up and things like that. Now I know I can just either call you, go online, do a little EFT. Are there any questions from anyone? Thank you, Jewel. And Jewel said, and she's in the healthcare industry, plus a new variant is out and it's going to keep mutating. So we're not out of this pandemic at all. And I've got to stay healthy because I have traveling to do. And, I would rather side on the air of caution to be healthy than on the air of the possibility of getting sick. I do not like being sick. I don't like the thought of being sick. I never liked cold. So I'm just that woman that, listen, I went and got some gentle iron this week. I have all kinds of vitamins around here because doing meditation every morning, being in prayer every morning has definitely helped me to just stay healthier, not just getting the vaccine, but this right here is what we really have to keep healthy, and this right here. So our minds and our hearts and our spirits just being calm, being still, being quiet every day, I know has helped me. Does anyone have any questions for Sheree about EFT? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Hey, Diva Jones, thank you so much for joining. She said, #choose peace. Yes, ma'am. We have to choose peace. We have to be so cognitive of our peace. Let me see if I missed any other comments. Thank you guys so much for joining this afternoon. Dorothy Roberts, I'm so glad that you were able to hop on and be with us. What time tomorrow? So, Sheree, 9 a.m. Central Time?
No. Do you have the contact information on the second page of that?
I will. Let me see. So, is there a way? I'm going to see if I can do something, Sheree, because I'm working on two screens. Okay, so Sheree, you just asked for a very nominal fee, like, right? Like to
Yeah.
even join.
Meditation, a nominal fee is $10 to $15. And really that just covers things like Zoom, the Zoom membership, Spotify, and any special things that I put together for that. But normally it's a pretty, good, vibrant group. And I always have a sense of community. So that way, when you come into the meditation, I start promptly at 5 minutes after the hour. So you might want to get in there a few minutes early because people do talk about how their week is going and what challenges they've been facing. And then we get right into the heart of things. But like I said, I always have a teaching point in there. Like I said, what are the effects of grieving? How it affects the wellness in the body? How it affects, our backs, our vision, everything. So I always try and give you enough that you come away with food for thought in terms of how you want to live your life.
Yeah. Food for thought in terms of how you want to live your life. I love that. So that's what we do here at the I Am That Woman Movement and Retreat. We give you food for thought on how you want to live your life, as well as information, resources, and events where you can come and live your best life. But you have to choose. It's all about you deciding to do these things. You have to meditate. I meditate every morning, 5:30. You can join us. Prayer, 6 o'clock. Joining Sheree. Sheree, are you doing meditations now every Saturday at 9?
I do every Saturday at 9, and I do Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Wow.
And it's
Okay.
all by Zoom link. So you just, you have to email me so you can get a copy of the Zoom link.
Wednesdays at noon?
Wednesdays at 1.
At 1.
On Wednesday and 9 a.m. on Saturdays.
Okay.
And you can send it to my email, Sheree Franklin at iCloud.com.
All right. I just put that in the chat as well. Every Saturday at 9 a.m. or Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Time, you can join Sheree for meditation. And I put your contact information out there. It's only $10 or $15 to join. Sheree Franklin. I accidentally put a G. Let me put that again. Sheree Franklin at iCloud.com. All right. And then I'm going to show that. All right, Sheree Franklin at iCloud.com. Email her, guys. I'm telling you, Sheree has changed my life since 2007. I would not be the same person had you not been my life coach and helped me through the grief of losing my father. You have helped me with my business practices. You have helped me to launch the I Am That Woman movement and retreat. You have taught us meditation at the retreat. Sheree, I have so much love for you. I appreciate all the support and love that you continue to give me. Sheree will see me post something on Facebook and reach out to me in a minute. And that's a sister's love. That's truly, goes beyond and above. And so I just want you to know I appreciate you. And thank you for sharing with us about EFT today. Any closing remarks?
No, we've got to work on really being peaceful. Too much is going on in our community. Too much is going on within ourselves. And many times women are carrying the blunt of the blow for all this overwhelm and this stress. It's like heart disease is the number one killer in women. It's because we hold everything so deeply in our hearts. And that's why I'm doing the meditation on releasing grief. Because we got to let this stuff out in order to promote wellness in our own bodies.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. We hold so much in ourselves that we don't, I keep on saying, referring to the movement, we don't take care of ourselves. I think that's why God planted this seed in me, is because, Sheree, we've lost way too many friends, loved ones, heart disease, breast cancer, young and old alike, because we just don't take the time to take care of ourselves. And techniques like EFT can change our state of mind, can change our health. I'm telling you, my back still feels better. I was running, in to get to start on time. I feel so much better. I feel at ease. I feel at peace. So thank you for sharing that information. And I'm going to join you in the morning, one way or another.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Denise King said, Twyler, I love Sheree too. Yes, Denise. Sheree, you have some fans out here.
I'm going to try and join us for meditation tomorrow. Please come.
Yes, hopefully so. And I'm sure Sheree's probably going to be on tomorrow. She said, thank you so much. Beautiful spirit. Yes, Sheree has one of the best spirits in the world. Thank you so much for sharing. Don't go anywhere. Just want to make a couple of announcements before we go. Again, everyone, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time, join Sheree for a meditation. You can reach out to her, Sheree Franklin at iCloud.com. Reach out to her. It's only $10 or $15. It's so worth it. It's an hour long from 9 to 10. Join a little early. She'll send you the link. But definitely, if you are dealing with any type of grief, loss, stress, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed, this is well worth your time to join Sheree. Go through this EFT. We did it in the beginning. It is a great technique, a great resource for you to have in your arsenal. I think we need a toolkit these days to be able to cope with everything we're going through. So thank you again, Sheree. Appreciate you. All right. I will close out the show with our announcement. You guys know what I'm going to say. Listen, I am here to help you, and you are here to help me. Join us every Monday for Morning Manna. That is all about our mindfulness. You guys, we need to be more mindful now than ever. And you need to make sure that you're doing and living your best life, doing what you love to do. Why choose to do something that is just causing you stress and anxiety, and a job that's not fulfilling, or a career that you've been doing for, years that you just continue to do? Tap into what it is that divinely God has created you to do. And how do you know what that is? How do you find your purpose? I'm telling you, being still, being quiet, and being open to the Spirit of God will get you there. So join us for Monday Morning Manna. Every Monday morning, I know you guys are like, why doesn't she have this up every single day? Every Friday, I'm looking for this. That's because generally I'm running into my office. So join us every Monday morning for prayer and meditation with me and Dr. Lockett. She is going to, gonna see it right. That's not the thing that I wanted to touch. She is going to lead us into prayer right after meditation. Meditation starts at 5:30 a.m. I know it's early, but it's the best way to start your day. 605-313-5104. Access code 345235. Monday through Friday, we do this. Dr. Lockett is with us for Monday Morning Manna. Again, it's just a conference call. You don't have to wake up, get dressed, do anything like that. 605-313-5104, access code 345235. It's an hour of power. I'm telling you, it's an hour that will help you to just release all of that tension, stress, anxiety, worry. If you're going through life's challenges right now, do it for a week. Just do it for a week. It will change your life. We've been dealing with change. We've been dealing with divine mindfulness, just having a divine mind. And healing. So all of the things that we need right now. So I pray that you will take the time, get up early, even in the morning, get up, join Sheree for EFT, for a meditation. It will help you change your life and help you live your best life. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. I have certainly enjoyed being with you. Twyler Jenkins, the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement. We have some major announcements coming up. As you guys know, the retreat is coming back live prayerfully next year in October. We're going to be at the Hilton Marco Island in Marco Island, Florida. Super excited about that. Registration is opening soon. It will be open in September. We have some new merchandise coming out. I have on one of my shirts today that I wanted to show you guys. the I Am That Woman retreat. So we have some merchandise coming out, some earrings, some jewelry. You're going to be able to do some bling bling. So our new website is launching soon. And don't forget, I'm doing a small meet and greet with the author Inger Burnett Ziegler, Dr. Ziegler, on Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, the Emotional Lives of Black Women, because this is all about how to live our best lives because we go through so much emotionally. I haven't talked to Sheree yet, but I think I'm going to have Sheree at that event so she can lead us in meditation and maybe a little EFT to start the day before I do my fireside chat. How does that sound? All right. Well, thank you all again. I hope you have a very blessed weekend, and prayerfully, I will see you or hear you on Monday. Have a great one. Bye bye.